but don't know where to start.
Well, what I would say is to join the Future Cash Flow Club. It's a community of investors where we talk about wholesaling, we talk about creative deal structuring, buying houses subject to, all of the creative stuff that everybody's talking about. You don't need a real estate license or any of that.
Wow, where do I sign up?
Well, I would say go to futurecashflowclub.com. That's futurecashflowclub.com. You can even get a free trial. Try it out today. Can you hear me? I don't know. If you don't know who I am by now, I don't know what you've been doing. You been asleep? Let me wake you up with something. Straight up. Yeah. Allow me to reintroduce myself. I'm Chris Monroe. R to the O-E. I flip houses, rent cars, and make money. You know I'm not no motherfucker dummy. This how we do. What's happening? What's happening? What's happening? This is the student master teacher, Mr. I Stay Woke, Chris Cashflow Money Monroe, and I'm right back at you with another real estate video. Tonight we have a great stream for you. We're going to be talking about some real estate creative deals, talking about subject to, talking about all these different transactions we're doing. Plus, we have a special guest coming on this evening as well. And we're going to get deep in the wells of short sales. I know a lot of people talk about short sales and say that, oh, you shouldn't do them, or you should do them, or you can make a lot of money, or you can lose a lot of money, or you can get the little shackles on your hand like old girl down in Texas. That won't be no good. But we're going to show you how you can avoid that and do what you're supposed to do and actually make money like it ain't funny. So let's see who we got up in here. My man Art. What up, big Art? Boom. What up, Justin? Stuffing his face. I knew you was eating. How did I just know you was eating, Justin? I just knew it. I said, I bet Justin eating right now. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Hey, how many meals you eat a day, Justin?
Maybe like 3 or 4.
Oh, that's good. Well, health equals wealth, and that's the name of the game. So that's what we got this thing. So what's going on, Art? Happy Sunday. How are you?
Happy Sunday. I'm doing pretty good.
You making some waves out here in these oceans and making some noise?
Yeah, making some noise. Yeah. Yeah. Generating leads. Moving forward.
And your main method of generating lead is cold call, right?
Yeah. I do get quite a few leads here and there from offline and referrals and stuff.
Oh, cool. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with referrals. Those are my favorite referrals. They're already warmed up. They already say they're working with you. They don't even know. They're like, oh, they told me to come work with you. And I'm like, yeah, sign right here. So
yeah, like I got a wholesale deal that I picked up this week that is a family member. Well, my wife's family member. So that's cool.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, I tell people all the time, you should be talking to your family, talking to your friends in your network. Somebody you know that's in your phone needs some help with their home. Come on with it. All we got to do is have that conversation. So you do a little bit of calling, a little bit of marketing with the networking, and ain't nothing wrong with that. You got any good fish on the hook this week?
Yeah, moving forward with my wife's mom property. She got a 2-unit that I'm sending out to buyers. Trying to get some offers in and seeing what we could do with that.
Yeah, the lady that actually cleans my Airbnbs or my, furnished properties, yeah, she had a property for me. I said, "Oh wow, bless your heart, bring it on." That's what we want. People bringing leads for you that you ain't even know was coming your way.
Yeah.
Cool beans. What's going on, Shelly? How you been? Uh-oh, you got an audio problem. It said it's off or on, but I don't know. Well, we'll come back to you when it comes on. So yeah, so tonight, like I said, coming up here in a little bit, we'll have a guest come on. He's going to be talking about some short sales and things like that. I mean, I haven't really delved into those because I know when you start dealing with the government, dealing with banks, it's a whole nother set of rules. So I kind of stay away from it. I like going direct to seller. It's just cleaner for me, less red tape. Even though I have done deals on market and I have done deals with agents, but it's just, I just have a bad taste in my mouth from buying or trying to buy a REO before. This wasn't a short sale, but this was a real estate owned property from a bank. So I said, I'm not even, they just made me lose my whole interest in it. They want you to put up money. They want you to do what they want to do on their timeline, and they might back out or play games with you. So I just don't like to do that. Your sound working now, Shelly? Nope. There's Jimmy. Big Jimmy. Cool. What's going on, Jimmy? You eating too? Y'all ain't giving me nothing to eat. Wait a minute, man. Everybody got a snack and then bring nothing for me. Come on now.
It's your show.
I'm supposed to eat though. Why can't I get a snack?
You cooking right now, Chris?
No, not yet. Only sometimes. I got a lot of good feedback on that presentation from last week about the subject to what to avoid, things like that. Some people were sending me messages like, "Oh man, I ain't never know that." I'm like, it's a lot of stuff you don't know. That's why you got to take this thing serious. And real estate, creative real estate especially, is a powerful tool that can be used for good or for evil. I don't know if y'all saw some stuff going around. Somebody's using it for evil. You saw that, didn't you, Art?
Yeah, for sure, man. It said somewhere between 80 and 120 homes.
So somebody bought a whole bunch of houses, right? Subject to, and now they just basically walking away from all of them.
Yeah, but apparently on some of the houses, at first, from what I gather, he was actually doing it successfully at first, and then at a certain point, he started collecting the private money lenders' money, and then didn't make payments on houses, didn't do anything. He was just collecting the money at a certain point.
So it's called he bit off more than he can chew. Because people been sending me messages on that stuff too, like, "Oh yeah, so they finna cancel subject to. You can't do sub 2 no more." And I'm like, how? It's gonna take some kind of law from a federal law if they do it, or maybe some state law if they're in a specific state. But I don't see any way they can just stop it altogether. The only ones that could possibly really stop it altogether would be the bank, right? If they were to call the loan due, and then they got to go through that whole thing. But do they really want to go through all that? So I don't see any way that they're going to cancel or stop people from doing sub 2 type transactions, meaning taking over people's properties, leaving the deed in their name. I'm sorry, leaving the loan in their name, transferring the deed over to us. And I've done it many times, and many times I should have done more. But there's a lot that I walked away from that didn't make sense because, cash flow wasn't there, or the house needed way too much work. I had one over here in, I think that was in Ferguson. I went up in there. It was a cat lady house. It had a strong cat smell. She had a boy cat, in fact. Had to be, because it smelled that strong ammonia type smell. You ever been in one of them houses, Art?
Yeah, I have.
People are like, it smelled like money. I'm like, smell like stank.
Yeah.
So yeah, I went up in one of those, and she was like, "Yeah, you can just have it. I mean, I'm already moved out." And I went in, and there was so much junk still in the house, and it was stinking. And I was like, "Do I want this house? Nah, not really. Too much mess." But she was basically trying to give it to me, and I think it was only about 10,000 in arrears, so it wasn't ridiculous. But I guess it could be for that house. the house was kind of out of date and it needed a lot of basically updating and a thorough cleaning with that strong cat smell in there. So that's what kind of made me like, do I really want it? Do you ever walk away from deals like that, Art?
Yeah, I had a deal last year. I had no money down. It needed some repairs, and I knew that up front when I seen it. But then I found out it had some termite damage, and I had a termite inspector look at it, and they told me it was somewhat extensive. So I just walked away from that one.
I remember that. It was like a year ago or something, right?
Oh, it was last year.
Was it 2 years ago? I think I remember you was asking
Maybe around
somebody.
the summertime.
So you didn't buy that house?
Nope. No.
You didn't want to deal with no termites. Yeah.
It was like that house had multiple things going on. The termites was kind of like the straw that broke the camel's back for me on that one.
Yeah. Certain stuff I kind of get away from it. What about you, Justin? You seen any houses you like, man, they giving it to me, but I don't think I want it.
I'm actually in the middle of that decision right now in the Illinois house. I've been promoting for the last 60 days. And, she finally got everything together. She ready to move forward. And I'm like, okay, so I got maybe another 3 weeks before that next payment will be due if I take it. So I'm like,
Wow. And it's in Illinois. You've been marketing it for 60 days? And not one person even thought about wanting it.
No, I've had a bunch of people inquire about it and stuff. You know what I'm saying? People just want to rent.
Well, and what they don't want to do a rent to own. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's been an objection I've been getting.
I mean, you can still do a rent to own with a smaller upfront. I mean, if that's what it takes to get somebody in there. I mean, I don't know. Just depends on what what it costs to get the deal.
I'm okay with doing a small upfront. I low key was okay with like taking like $2,000.
Did somebody have $2,000 and wanted it though, or no?
I haven't had nobody who have at least $2,000 who actually wanted it. Not yet.
What do you think is the biggest reason they don't want the house?
I don't think people want to stay in that particular area, Cahokia, Illinois. The street is kind of ran down. I don't know. It's definitely the trenches for sure. It can be done. And
you have signs in the neighborhood?
That's what I'm doing. I just, I'm late to the party on the signs thing. I got it. I'm gonna take care of it.
Before you lay your head on that pillow, post that bad boy on Zillow and make sure you got some signs out there. Somebody keeps stealing my signs on one of the properties I'm marketing, by the way. Why have you put no signs out, or you just haven't got a chance to?
I just haven't got a chance to. I honestly don't like driving over there, to be honest with you.
Illinois. That's why I don't really mess around over there. But there's nothing wrong with it. It's a deal. It's a deal. It's a deal. You got it online though, right? Like on Zillow and stuff, or no? And nobody still don't want it.
Man, people.
You see why I stay away from over there? I stay clean away. Rich Groves might have somebody for it. Did you talk to him?
I haven't talked to Rich Groves.
You got to do that thing called networking, Justin. Come on. We never stop marketing, whether it's signs, whether it's the internet, Facebook, Craigslist, OfferUp, whatever site you put it on, apartments.com, networking, meetups, all of that stuff. And nobody want to deal with it. This in what part of Illinois?
Cahokia, Illinois.
But Tina might know somebody to want that. She live over there.
Oh, she do stay over there.
Come on, Justin. Your network is your net worth. Nothing wrong with that. What's going on, Jimmy? Any good opportunities come your way this week?
Good opportunities. Nothing new, I would say. Some I need to follow up with. I went door knocking. Actually, Justin got a good one.
So when you door knock, what happened? Did you get a person to answer the door?
Sometimes, yes. I found that in Arnold, people aren't as nice when you door knock.
Really? What they say? Get the hell off my front porch.
Pretty much, like get the F off my property. So
You down there by James and Shelley. They down there in that Jefferson County area. They like that area.
yeah.
So they not nice down there, or you just happen to get one person that wasn't nice?
One person that wasn't nice, and then another one. I know people were home, but they didn't come to the door.
So, I mean, what did you say to the person that was not so nice?
I was asking for the owner, Miss Vicky. Miss Vicky, I was like, hey, I'm here. I was looking for Miss Vicky Henley. She's dead. Who are you? And I was just like, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I was just, in the neighborhood, and I was wondering if you were aware about the house situation. She says, yeah, I know. I'm taking care of it. Get the fuck off my property. Bam.
Was that the daughter?
I have no idea.
Because I was just inboxed her like a couple days ago. I've been trying to find her. So she living in that house. I thought she lived in St. Peter's.
Yeah. So this is down in Arnold. This is like off of Crab Apple.
Yeah, I know. I'm deep in the wells trying to find them people. I didn't go to the house. You did, evidently.
So the lady who is living there, she owns like some like animals because she has like cages and stuff all over the place. But she was not pleased when I opened the door. When she opened the door and she saw me.
Wow.
She was very frustrated to see me.
So funny thing about that one, I saw that come up too, just like you did. But instead of knocking on the door, I said, let me do a little digging and research. So I looked online and I found out that they had a probate already open. So I already knew that the lady was deceased.
I didn't know that.
As a matter of fact, let's rewind it.
Mm-hmm.
I googled that name, and then I seen that it had an obituary next to it. That's how I knew she was dead. Then I went and looked to see if there was a probate open on the property already. So I already knew she was deceased.
Yeah, I did not do that due diligence. I was already actually down in that area.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with it.
While I was down in the area, I was like, I'm gonna door knock a few houses on my way back home. So, but you're right. I should have done due diligence. I would have been more well prepared, for the encounter, because I was kind of caught off guard to see that young lady too.
What if I told you did everything right, Jimmy?
Okay. Well, at least I was there trying, I guess.
That's it. At least we know somebody living in the house, because I didn't drive all the way down there. I live on the opposite side of St. Louis, so I knew that I wanted the property, and I'm like, man, that don't look like a bad house, and they got a lot of equity in that property.
Right.
Let's see here. I bet she would have been different if you had mentioned her by name. Well, he did mention by name. She's deceased.
No, but he should have known who was in the house.
Yeah.
Oh.
Before he got there. If he would have saw a young woman, he should have known that was her daughter.
And
It might not have made much of a difference, but it was just, hello, Cynthia. I found when I know everybody's name and stuff, it just brings them closer to me.
Yeah, I was just here to check on Miss Vicky. Then they'd be like, Miss Vicky passed away. Oh, man, really? I'm sorry to hear that. Well, I was in the neighborhood, whatever you were saying to him. What you going to do with the house? Can I buy it? No. So evidently they getting it taken care of, it sounds like.
Yeah. I didn't even get around to buying or anything like that. I was just like, hey, did you know about the house situation? And then she got mad. Yeah. Another person down in South County, just on the edge of Arnold, just got his house off of the foreclosure. I knocked on the door. I don't know if this is a really sketchy situation. I asked for the homeowner by name. The guy was like, nope, he's not here. And I was like, is there any way to get a hold of, do you know how to get a hold of him? He's like, nope. And I was like, okay, well, did you know about the house is under foreclosure? And he's like, yeah, and we're taking care of it. So y'all people can leave us alone. And then I was like, okay, well, Emil, if Emil needs any help, let him know he can reach out to me if anything falls through. And he's like, Emil ain't coming around. And then he just closed the door and left. So I'm like, oh.
So you know what it sounds like to me, Jimmy?
Yeah.
I think a lot of these people already been hit up by multiple people already. So by the time you come, they're all pissed off. I'm tired of y'all knocking on my door.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And the crazy thing is that street that it's on, it's called Jaeger. It's been like 3 houses on foreclosure in the past month and a half.
Yeah.
So I've been up and down that street quite a bit. It's not far from me.
Is that the one with a whole bunch of land around it or something like that?
Yeah. There's a
Try
lot.
to get them up too. You trying to get all of them up, Jimmy? You out there though? We should go to the house. I ain't go to the house. I'm lazy. I'm on the computer.
I'm on the south side, so you know.
That makes it easy if you're in striking distance. Yeah, so it's good to go out to the house because then you'll know if somebody's living in the house. You'll see the condition of the house. You'll see what's really going on versus guessing at it. Because I'm just guessing. And sometime online it say vacant. Matter of fact, I think that crabapple house said vacant. I'm not sure. Let me go back. Well, I ain't gonna look now, but I think it said vacant. But you said somebody living in it,
Right.
and I only know because I know it said that house worth about what 400,000. They only owe like maybe 100,000 or something like that. I said, damn.
Right.
That's a cash deal, creative deal, whatever kind of deal you want to make. We can make a deal.
Yeah.
All Jimmy know is $400,000 houses.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. Stay away from them cheap ones. This how you make money though. If you just get you one of these 400,000 ones, you got enough spread to make some money. You can literally make $40,000 by accident on one of those big houses like that. Right, Shelly? She said, "Yeah, for sure." What's going on with you, Shelly? Anything good, or your audio still ain't working? Yeah, your audio isn't working for some reason.
Might be on a different.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it says you're on, but you're not on. But yeah, that's when you get dealing with these bigger houses or bigger price or higher ARV properties, you have an opportunity for a bigger spread. That's the one good thing I do like about them. To get a $10,000 off of a $50,000 house is more difficult than getting a $10,000 house, $10,000 off of a $500,000 house. It's like a drop in the bucket. That's like, part of the closing cost. They don't even miss it. I'm like, oh, bet. Put that in my pocket. Line item on a settlement statement coming to an assignment fee to Chris Monroe. Let's go. All right. And let's see. So we got Art, we got Justin, we got Jimmy. I got to all of y'all. Right? Anything else cooking this week that we need to talk about? Let's see if we're
so we got a continuation of a deal me and Jimmy doing and stuff together. So with that situation, I got the guy under contract. Took us a total of 5 hours. Jimmy started us off with 4 hours. I finished in an hour. So
Let's go.
Kept asking the guy, went ahead, got under contract for loan balance only. He said that he believed that he owed like $315. I think it came back as like $425, something crazy like that. Which was good. I didn't care what was the total remainder because I knew he was gonna go sub to any either way. So it came back. So he's kind of lost position now. And then what's funny, he actually was trying to pressure Jimmy into rushing them. Oh, what you guys are going to do? The numbers are different now, but we still want to move forward. I need to know ASAP, putting all this pressure on Jimmy. And I gave the guy a call, talked him off a ledge, gave him some things to do. Like, hey, make sure you get the trustee information so we can stop your foreclosure. We're doing exactly what we told you we was going to do is, stop the foreclosure and figure this thing out and help you out to give you enough time to get everything taken care of. So,
what do you think he was in a rush for though? Like, what was the big thing? Like, I needed you to do something now. What made him get into this rush mode all of a sudden?
I don't think he was really in a rush. I think he just, see Jimmy as maybe a little bit more vulnerable or whatever, and trying to like railroad him and stuff. So when I got him on the phone, he gave me none of that energy and stuff. So pretty much we tried to go back there and sit down with him. After I had talked to him that one day to reposition the sale, still sending the emails to stop the foreclosure and stuff at that time. And he was like, yeah, I'm busy this weekend. Can we just do Monday? So now that whole rush thing has gone completely out the window. We did get confirmation from the bank that the foreclosure is stopped. Yep. So Jimmy has to be at work tomorrow. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over there and sit with the guy tomorrow and get him under the sub paperwork. And then we're going to try to figure out the whole thing with the arrears and stuff, since he owes so much. I think he owes like 40 grand in arrears. So I'm going to try to reposition that, try to get the arrears and stuff figured out, get him a get a date from him as far as a move out. My exit or the exit that I'm kind of putting together, I'm thinking that I'm going to contact the neighbors who are doing the Airbnb, skip trace their number and information, and see if they're willing to, pay an assignment to basically um, take over the existing mortgage of the house.
How did he get so far behind? How did he get 40K behind in payments?
So I believe that he told us it was a situation where he had fell behind, maybe about $20,000 or something like that, and then the VA loan, which I guess is a separate entity than his bank, which is Mr. Cooper. They did something with him where the VA loan structured it, put the 20 grand on the back of the loan. Ultimately, he continued not paying, so he built up another balance, and then what they did is this time they brung both balances back since he didn't hold up his bargain. So now he has that lump sum of money to take care of.
Wow. Hopefully they're able to do something 2 times, because sometimes they have a limit on it. Like if they do put arrears on the back of a loan, they usually say you got to wait 2 years or 3 years, something like that, before you're eligible for that program again. Hopefully that's not the case here. That would not be good there. 40K. Oh no. So he just was living for free for 3 years or something.
Yeah.
People think they can just live for free. Say, I ain't got to pay no mortgage. What's wrong with you, man? I'm just going to live up in this house. Ain't nothing nobody can do. And then, the other thing too, Justin, you just said Mr. Cooper. You know who Mr. Cooper rolled with now, right?
Our favorite bank chain.
Rocket Mortgage. Oh my God. They're a pain in the butt in every way. Like if there was a bank that I would say might call somebody loan due, I think it would be Rocket Mortgage.
Wow.
I don't know if they will. I'm just saying it. The way they act, because they really will go look at the deed of the property and stuff too to see who transferred it. How do I know that? Because I bought a house subject to early last year. I ended up doing a loan modification or getting the arrears put on the back of the loan. They checked the deed and they were like, no, it got to be put back in their name for us to do that. So I had to put it back into the seller's name, let the loan mod or the partial claim go through, get those arrears put on the back of the loan. Then I went back and recorded and put it back into the trust. So funky stuff dealing with Mr. Cooper. Or I'm sorry, Rocket Mortgage.
That's a good lesson, though.
Yeah. And sometimes that's why I always think, if you're going to do a loan mod, and your title company could probably help you with this if you're doing these types of deals. See if they can record it later. Give us a few weeks before you record it so we can get that part through first for it's approved and then record it. You ever done something like that before, Art?
Yeah, my title company, I'm doing that on a deal I got going on right now. Basically, my title company said it's nothing illegal or wrong about doing that.
Come on.
Besides the obvious exposure that you can have if the seller was somehow privy to that, they could try to sell the property again.
So the way to get around that, right?
By having them sign off on everything.
That's it. Sign off on both. So we're going to have them sign off in front of a notary. We're going to have them sign off in front of a notary to transfer it back to their name. So I'll sign it back to their name. And then I'll have them sign another one that's going to go be recorded later to go back into the trust. I'll just have that in my hand and I won't record it until that part is done. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to do that 2 times. So yeah, but one was with Mr. Cooper and one was with U.S. Bank. So I don't know which banks are doing it, but it's getting tricky out here. So
I'm dealing with Mr. Cooper right now.
That's your favorite, huh?
It's my first time dealing with them, but obviously they dealing with the Rocket Mortgage merger thing, and I do got one with Rocket Mortgage already.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're the ones who I found out about the forced place insurance.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because that's what they had put insurance on your property already. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, because I never sent the EOI.
The evidence of insurance. You got to have that correct, ladies and gentlemen. Evidence of insurance with an additional insured as the borrower's name. Because if not, it's really not insured according to the bank because their interest is not protected.
So instead of me cash flowing like 805, it was like 660 something on that property.
So they took it off when you fixed that, though, right?
Yes.
Perfect. Well, that's what we got to do. We got to do what we got to do to make this stuff work. The little ins and outs that can make all the difference. And so, let's see. The time is now 7:30, and we got a special guest coming on. Going to talk to us a little bit about some of this thing called short sales. The David Randolph. What's going on, David? How are you?
Oh, man, I'm doing great.
Welcome back. I see you've been traveling, leaving St. Louis. You made it back, huh?
Yeah, I'm all over the place, it seems like. Doggone it. I tell you what, I picked up a vacation rental in Florida, and that was kind of fun to have one of those sitting around.
If you're going to buy one out of town, make it a vacation rental for sure, because you can stay in there instead of paying a hotel when you visit, right?
Exactly.
What part of Florida?
In the Villages.
Oh, don't they have a advertisement or something like for seniors to come down or something like that?
It's a senior community. You have to be 55 or older to live there, to own a house.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, it's the snowbird. It's the snowbird season. I can rent that for $7,000 a month.
And it's a regular house, or this one of those boat houses? Or whatever?
No, it's a regular 3-bedroom, 2-bath ranch, 2-car garage.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Nothing wrong with that. So, is that something you bought as a short sale as well?
No, actually, I didn't. Chris, you'd be proud of me. I bought it the old-fashioned way, just pure negotiation with the seller, on it. Pure relationship. It's about relationships, right?
Right.
In these deals we do. And it was purely the number 2 real estate agent in the Villages. It was her parents' house, and she was too embarrassed to put it on the MLS because she's the number 2 agent and needed work, and stuff to be done to it, right? And so she couldn't let, her dirty laundry show up on the MLS. And so a local RIA group leader here, has a place down there and was talking to this guy that used to run a RIA group here, and she said, "Man, I just need to find a buyer for this." And the guy said, "Well, man, Dave Randolph out of St. Louis, man, he's got cash and he loves to buy places." And so that was the connection, man, about relationships, man. That's what it is.
A referral. You can't lose on those. They already warmed up to you. They ready to make a deal, huh?
Exactly. Yeah. So but it's kind of funny. It's not a short sale, but still, it's nice to pick that up.
Cool. So for the people who may not know, who've never heard of you, give us a little background. What do you do, David? How are you helping people in real estate?
Well, I'll tell you what, I have been in real estate for 15 years. And so I'll give you my little 2-minute, hi, who are you kind of thing. And so, hi, my name's David Randolph. I rehab about 5 to 10 houses a year. One of my claims to fame is that all my renovated houses here in St. Louis, Missouri, on the MLS, that I've listed 265,000 and under, every single one of them has sold in 7 days or less, at list price or higher. Chris, now for 16 years. 16 years, yeah. Now I've got this unfair advantage. I'm making $50,000 to $150,000 gross profit on $250,000 houses here. Okay, so it's easy to sell them quick. So the question is, man, how do you do that part, right? Well, that's what I do now. That's my method. It's called a short sale. That's how I buy my houses. Okay, for 15 years, not on the MLS, not with a real estate agent. No, this is with the family, helping them stop the foreclosure date. The negotiating directly with the bank. That's what I'm really good at. Then, as you know, Chris, I became a hard money lender. Okay, so I've got $3.5 million in cash in my IRAs, in my retirement accounts. But I'm not retired, so I lend it out to other rehabbers all across the country. I lend them the money to buy it, the money to fix it, the money for the points, and I lend them the money for the monthly interest payments. They need $0 because my heart is to help new rehabbers get started. And then about 5 years ago, people like you and other big names out there, almost as big as you, some of them, okay, said, Dave, you need to teach other people how to do short sales. So, Chris, I've been teaching people all across the United States how to do short sales. It's a federal process. It's the same in every city. Okay. And so I've been teaching people that for 5 years now. And I love talking about it. Love love helping families out of a crisis, and love, being able to fix up houses. Now you can wholesale them too, but I'm a rehabber. And so I like to, do that, and been doing that now for 15 years. Nobody sent me the memo to quit doing short sales.
Wow. Well, welcome, David. We're glad to have you here. And so, that's kind of some of the stuff we do already here with going after these pre-foreclosures, but it sounds like you're doing something different. You're going after the pre-foreclosure, and instead of trying to just beat them up and say, oh, we'll take it for the loan balance, we need it lower than a loan balance. Am I getting that correct?
Absolutely. A house on 1 Torian Drive I bought for, now the loan was $204,000, and you might have subtued it, but the loan was $204,000. I bought it for $29,600. Okay, sold her for $275. Now you might have thought I'll sub to it, but not if you knew how to do a short sale. Wouldn't you rather pay $29,600 for it instead of $204? So that's exactly what short sales do, is take a home where now you're just basically taking a home where the bank is going to take what they're owed and cut it down to some really low number, and then you buy it. Okay, and the homeowner goes on with their life like normal somewhere else, type thing. And so it's just a normal transaction, just the bank is sending in a payoff letter at a really, really small number.
Now, why would a bank want to take a deep, deep discount on a property that they don't want?
Well, the homeowner hasn't been making payments, so they are in foreclosure. Okay, I actually teach people to actually go after the ones that have a published foreclosure date in the public newspaper, right? And so they're going to lose their home. And if you don't step in, then they're going to be kicked out, have a foreclosure, and the bank can come after them in Missouri for 7 years. And so what happens is the bank doesn't want that house. Okay, they're not in the business of fixing up houses. And so when I come in with a short sale, they've been trained in their policies and guidelines that if they ever are presented a short sale offer, it must be better than a foreclosure. That's their policy. So when I step in looking like a duck and quacking like a duck with my short sale offer, they think $29,600 is better than what they're going to get on the courthouse steps, because that's their policy book.
So we're going off of what they owe more so what the value of the property is.
No, they're going by what the value of the property is, not what they owe. It's not what they owe. I've been afraid to do a short sale on a free and clear house, which doesn't work because there's no bank to call. But no, the loan value, that's kind of a myth that people have out there. The loan could be $1 million. It doesn't matter. If you can justify and show them what the actual value is in an as-is valuation done by the bank, then here's where the trick happens, Chris, that people don't really understand. It's not that appraisal. Each loan type has a different percentage that the bank will accept. And that's a mistake real estate agents make, is they might get an appraisal from the bank and they try to list it for the appraisal. Now, that's wrong. The bank will take a percentage, and each loan type has a different percentage, and I know what those percentages are on it.
So when you say loan type, you're meaning FHA, VA, or conventional? Is that
yes. Yeah, exactly. So when the homeowner bought the house, they took out an FHA loan to get it. Maybe they took out a VA loan, or Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac or USDA. And so, each of those loan types is a short sale, and that's a percentage that they take on different types of loans. They have their own department.
Okay, so let me go back a little bit, just a back step. So first step one, we find a person in foreclosure. We know they're going to lose the house in 3 weeks, right?
Yes.
We're going to connect with them, get them to sign some paperwork. Now we're going to talk to the bank. Am I getting all that correct?
You got it right.
And as long as we can do whatever we need to do from that point forward, we can get a reduced payoff than what they owe on the property.
Yes.
Now, I know that repairs is probably one of the number one things. Are there other reasons that a bank would take less than what's owed on it?
Well, yeah. I mean, there's certain things with like HOA covenants that might, cause it not to be able to, be rented out or sold, or other factors that make it not marketable. It's what's the marketable condition. If there are federal tax liens on it, all those affect title. It's called clouding the title. And that's really what we're doing is, getting a clear title so we can then sell it, even if we wholesale it to someone else. and did no work to it, we cleared the title, and that's valuable and worth money anyway. Okay, just by doing that. And so the bank is looking at all those factors, but they've got a whole lot of others that are way beyond any of that. Just like we talk to homeowners now in distress, and we talk to them about buying their house or helping them out. It's not about the price of the house. It's always about what's their situation. That, Chris, and stuff. And so it's the situation at home. It's the same thing with the bank. The banks are distressed sellers also, and they've got things like this. If they have too many non-performing loans where people aren't making their payment, they get shut down by the FDIC. They get their toys taken away. They're not a bank anymore. They take all their property and give it to another bank. So they don't want that and stuff. The other one is, it's I don't know if you heard of fiat currency. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
Money.
Yeah. And so what happens is the whole Federal Reserve and all that fiat currency. What happens is when the bank is making a loan, let's try it this way. You have $100,000 loan and the homeowner stops making payments. Okay. And so it's a 15-to-1 ratio. So the bank takes that $100,000. Now it's non-performing. They've got to go backwards and take $1.5 million off of their books that they can't lend out for car loans, student loans, any kind of loan. They have to take it off their books. 15-to-1 ratio. And so they don't like that. They'd rather take $30,000 for the house because then they can lend $500,000 out. And so that and the number of non-performing ones, too many of them, it looks bad. And then they get shut down by the FDIC. So they got a lot. They're distressed people just like homeowners are. And so there's a lot of, here's a good example of one. Kevin in Pennsylvania. I don't know where everybody here is at or from. I don't recognize
All over.
All over. Great. So, all over. Yeah, great. So that's because, short sales are federal. So Kevin in Pennsylvania recently just closed on the sale of this a month ago. Okay. Russia. All right, man. I love that. I got some Russian friends. I got some Russians doing short sales in North Carolina. Okay, and stuff. But anyway, but Kevin in Pennsylvania just closed on the sale of a short sale where it was a conventional loan, Chris, conventional loan. So write that down, conventional loan. And so the bank comes out and did an appraisal, okay, on the house. The bank, it comes out, they determine the value. They're a 600-pound gorilla, man. They tell us what to do. And they come out and they said that the appraisal was $198,000. Okay, great, fine, and what I teach people to do, we dispute that. We never agree with that. We always want to get a copy of the appraisal and say, hey, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. And see, people don't understand that. There's a number 2 agent in New Jersey who didn't know you could dispute the value of the property. Number 2 agent, realtor in New Jersey. And he goes, you can do, yeah. So you always dispute the valuation. Well, Chris, before we could even get a copy of the appraisal, the bank accepted his $96,000 offer on the table, accepted it. And we're like, holy cow, keep our mouth shut, I guess, and close on this thing. So Kevin, he's a therapist. He's not a rehabber, he's a therapist. And I'll get him trained to do some rehabs maybe. But anyway, but he gets the house for $96,000 and he does do some demo, get some dumpsters in there and clean it out. And he did some kind of landscaping. Anyway, he had a total of $116,000 in that house. He goes to his favorite real estate agent, okay, and puts it on the MLS. And just a month ago, sold that for $280,000 cash.
Wow.
Cash, no inspection, no appraisal by the buyer. Okay.
That's crazy.
That's how banks are desperate right now.
So is it possible that banks can make an error and do something like that? Or is it just,
no, it's happening all across the country. That's his third one. Okay. Here's another one he did. It was actually his very first short sale was FHA. Now I'll tell you, if you're taking notes here, because I like to teach things to people here. So FHA, they do what's called a full appraisal. In other words, when the bank sends out their person, it's their guy, they send them out, they're paying for the guy to come, they're going to do a full appraisal. Now, conventional loan, see, they do a BPO, broker price opinion. That's just a real estate agent paid $50 to come out to the house and determine the value. And so that's kind of crazy on their side, but it's not my problem. But FHA does a full appraisal, okay? And they come out. So you're not going to make as much money on FHA short sales because they're going to get closer to the value because there's more work put into it. But anyway, Kevin's very first one was an FHA loan where he basically bought it for $57,000. And on that one, he brought in 4 dumpsters, cleaned it out, and then put it on the MLS, listed it for $67,000, and sold it the same day for $225,000. Okay, so it's different loan types and it's different, different things. Let's take Andrew. Okay, Andrew is right here in Chicago. Okay, well, not here, relative St. Louis is pretty close, 4 hours, but Andrew's in Cook County. He just recently bought a house. He's kind of finishing up the rehab right now. Okay, but he bought the house. The first loan position, first lien, was $750,000. Okay, and there was a second lien on it, second loan from another bank for $150,000. Well, he bought that house on a short sale for $340,000. Yes, right.
What do you do? Short sale both of them?
That's both loans. Now, see, I know this trick. I can force the second lien holder to take $6,000 for their $150,000. I know that trick, and so they did. They had to. That's why I called it forcing them. I know that you have to, and so that's how he got it for $340,000. Now he is doing $100,000 rehab. Let's call it $150,000. Okay, so let's say he bought it for $350,000, and let's say he's putting $150,000 in it, so he got $500,000 in it. He's going to sell that for between $900,000 and $1.1 million. Okay, now I'm telling him, do it for $900,000. You don't need to squeeze every dime out of this. Get it on that market and sell it fast. So all across the country, the banks are desperate right now, desperate to get these off their books.
So there's a thing, I don't know if it's a myth or not. They said when you buy these short sale, you have to hold them for a certain amount of time, or when you buy them, you can sell them immediately. Is there some kind of deed restriction or something like that?
So the only ones with a deed restriction are what are called Fannie Mae loans, FNMA or Fannie Mae. Okay, those have a 90-day deed restriction. Okay, 90 days. Now, what that means is for the first 30 days, when you buy it, you can't sell it for even a penny. Not a penny. If your grandmother's on the side of the highway dying from a car accident and you need to helicopter her out and you need to hawk your house, you can't sell it for even a penny. It's very un-American to me. You can't sell your house for even a penny. Now, from 30 to 90 days, you can't even sell it for more than 120%. So if you bought it for $100,000, you can't sell it for more than $120,000, even if you did a $50,000 rehab on it in that 90 days. But anyway, at 91 days, then you can sell it for anything you want. So you do have to watch out for those, okay? But, that's not a big deal if you're a rehabber, right?
Right. It's going to take you that long anyway, right?
It's going to take you that long. And it's going to take you 30 days to close with a buyer anyway. So, it's that closing date that you worry about, not the offer date and stuff. But otherwise, like FHA, you can wholesale those, okay? And, it's kind of funny. There's some YouTube guru people that don't know their something from the butt in the ground, a whole head from the butt. I don't know. They didn't know what they're talking about. I don't know what that phrase. You don't know your head from the hole in the ground. Anyway, whatever it is, there's a couple of YouTubers out there about a year ago saying that it's illegal to wholesale a short sale. They're saying it's illegal to wholesale a short sale. Okay. Now, here's the thing. First of all, we have to define wholesaling. Okay?
Right.
And so wholesaling is several ways to do it. Yes, wholesaling can be where you assign the contract to somebody else. That's wholesaling. But wholesaling is also where you basically double close. You close on it and resell it. And you should do that, in my opinion, anytime you're making more than probably 20 grand, because I can guarantee you your buyer, even though they're your friend, okay, on the closing day, is going to say, wait a minute, you're making 30 grand. I'm not gonna pay you this on the day of closing, right? And I mean, Chris, you should, in my opinion. Do you agree? Double close if you're making too much money on the wholesale, right? I know it's extra cost, but I mean, it's you don't want to take that chance on closing day that they don't show up with their money and they hold it over you. I mean, here's how it works. That wholesaler buddy of yours comes in the closing table and says, "Oh man, hey Dave, look, I can't buy this house. My wife saw the contract on the table and she saw how much you were making, and she said you ain't going to buy that house, And so here's what you do: you say to your buddy, you say, "Well, why don't you call your wife up and ask her how much does she think David should be allowed to make?" And the wife says, "Well, I think 20 grand's okay, not 50." Right. So you double close. So with FHA, you can double close the same day on a short sale. Wow. You have to take the ownership in the name of your purchase sale contract as the buyer, but then you can sell it the same day or say the next day to make it more comfortable kind of thing, and just double close.
What about VA loans? Because Justin's working on a VA loan right now. Can he assign that deal to somebody else, or you got to wait it out?
Well, yeah, you can never assign. That's why there was a specific guru that was saying this thing about being illegal. It is not even physically possible to assign a short sale to someone else, and here's why. Any closing that you do is going on a short sale, obviously, is going through a title company. Title company will not allow an assignment because the approval letter says the name of the buyer and the buyer can't change. The approval letter from the bank on a short sale has to approve the seller and the buyer, and it's that buyer's name. So it's impossible to ever assign a short sale to somebody else. You can't do it. Can you sell your LLC? Yeah, you can do some tricks, but I'm talking about assigning it, not even possible. And so this guy didn't know what he was talking about when he's bad-mouthing short sales and stuff like that. You can absolutely double close on those and sell them right away at any price.
All right. It looks like Justin has a question. He's been waiting and bubbling. He ready to pick your brain, David.
All right. I love questions, man. I love them.
Okay, so let's go through this thing piece by piece. I want to make sure I understand it. Explain it to me like a third grader. Okay, so we start off. We find a person who is going through foreclosure, right? Okay, so we got the rears, we got the loan. The loan exceeds the actual value of the house, right?
Okay, can I stop you there, please?
Go ahead.
Because I love to explain this. Okay, and Chris is gonna love. I love Chris, man. We known each other for a long time here in St. Louis. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I have to say this about what you just said. This negative equity, the owing more than it's worth, is a farce. It's a lie. It's a myth. Okay, all you care about is, will the seller, the homeowner, allow you to do the short sale process? That's all you need to know. Now, how can I back that up? What's the proof? Black Knight, which was bought out by ICE. Black Knight is a data company that does mortgage statistics. They did a 30-year study all across America on all foreclosures across America for 30 years. They took all the homes that had 40% equity, 40%. They could have snapped their fingers and sold that thing on the MLS, right? 40% equity. They didn't need to go to foreclosure. 40% equity, one third of them. 1/3 went to foreclosure anyway. You weren't there to help them out. I can't see anyone else's names, but I'd say your name if I saw them. Now, Justin, you weren't there to help them. Art, you weren't there to help them. Jimmy, you weren't there to help that person. They lost their home to foreclosure. So equity is a phantom. All you need to know is a seller wanting you to help them out of this life situation of a foreclosure. Okay, so now go ahead and go on with your question because we find somebody who will.
Loan balance don't matter. Okay, I get it.
Right?
We need an able, willing person who wants to get out their situation. Okay, perfectly fine. So from the initial, we're putting them under paperwork. Let's say we put it under 123 LLC, right? So we're putting them under a short sale contract, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So, do you have to be licensed to do a short sale?
Absolutely not. No, you don't. Anybody in America can process, negotiate a short sale with a bank. There's only two exceptions, and that's the state of California and the state of Florida. In those states, you have to work with a real estate agent. Now, the way I teach it, if you come to one of my workshops, I do, the thing I teach is to work with an agent anyway. Okay, to work with one anyway. So now all 50 states you can do a short sale. Okay. Now that agent isn't finding the house for you. They're not doing anything. Matter of fact, I just pay them a $1,500 flat fee for their MLS listing documents is all I'm doing. You know, they don't really know anything. They're just on my team. But yeah, you are writing a purchase sale contract in the name of your LLC.
Okay, so we're starting this process now. To my understanding, this process takes about 6 months. At minimum,
Well,
right?
you know, it could. Here's the thing I tell people: it's probably 4 to 6 months. Now, what I tell people is the longer it takes, the more money you make. So I say people don't quit your day job until you get like 5 or 10 short sales in the pipeline and you're rehabbing maybe or whatever, because there's just not, just don't be in a hurry. Okay. You're not going to make money right away. It's going to be 4 months, 6 months, something like that, on it. But I'd say 4 to 6 months.
Okay. So boom, LLC.
Wait a minute, Justin. What did you mean when you, David? You said the longer it take, the more money you make. Why'd you say that again?
Because I'm going to dispute every time they give me a value, I'm going to dispute it and say it's wrong. Okay. And if I get really mad at it, I'll wait till it expires. Okay. I'll wait 4 months for it to expire. That's why I'm saying don't be in a hurry, to do these. Okay. The longer you wait, the more you can make. And I'll wait for another appraiser to come on. And so I'll take the value they give us and I'll do this process. It's a long process. Okay. As far as, for a Zoom session, it's long. And so, I'll argue about the value's not right and get them to change it. Okay. And stuff. And then if it's still not right, then I'll argue some more. Okay. On one of them,
so all of this time is good because the person that's living there could probably keep living there all this time while we're negotiating.
That's the number one reason they'll work with you, by the way. There's many reasons like foreclosure on their record. They don't care about that. Even coming after them for the money. The number one reason, Chris, you're going to get them to sign the authorization form. So Justin, just to insert in there before before the purchase sale with your LLC, before that, you have a 1-page authorization form first. That starts and allows you legally to talk to the bank. Then you do the purchase sale with the LLC. But so you want to have that authorization form and stuff. But yeah, that's the number one reason they're going to work with you is to get more time in the house. Instead of having to be out in the next 20 days, they're going to be in there for 2 months, 4 months, maybe 6 months. That's why they'll agree to work with you.
Okay, Justin, you got it.
Okay, so we got the paperwork, right? Whatever, paperwork that's needed. So they under the paperwork. You've started this process with the bank. You've submitted this to the bank. You stopped the foreclosure. Okay. So at what point are you sending the proof of funds?
I teach people to send the entire package in all at once. The RMA form, the what I call realtor docs, and then the third category are the investor docs, and that includes a proof of funds. Has to go with that package. Always send a proof of funds with your purchase sale contract.
Okay, what are you suggesting for a lot of the wholesalers be broke? So what are you suggesting as far as how do they present proof of funds if they're broke?
They need to bring you the deal and you work the play. But go ahead, David.
So I'll try to say this way, I guess. I already said I'm a hard money lender. There's many hard money lenders. There's good people. It's good and there's bad, and everyone's going to borrow from someone that they resonate with. My lending is special. It's just for new people who are disenfranchised from the system. Where you've got a bad credit score, so those guys won't give you a loan. I don't care what your credit score is. So the point is that usually from a hard money lender. And so for me, people that want to borrow money from me, okay, I've been lending for 12 years, okay, I will give them a free proof of funds letter, okay. I'll give them a free proof of, but as long as you have my lending terms and my document and me personally, okay, we have a relationship, then I'll give you a free proof of funds letter. Heck, I'll, if you just contact me on that and, get that lending document, I'll give you a free proof of funds letter for that.
But is that what you were asking about, Justin, about just getting a proof of funds? Because you said the wholesalers are broke and they're going to try this, and you don't want to say, don't jump into this creative type strategy without the proper training. I guess that's what I was trying to get more to.
Right.
Right.
All right. You had any more questions, Justin?
Okay, so you get to the final period of, closing. You did bring up something that I thought was I've heard of, we talked about in this group before, which is assigning the LLC to an end buyer, so you can close within that LLC that's on the original paperwork. How much stuff are you able to change in the midst of negotiating? Are you able to change up the buyer? Are you able to change up the lender? How much are you able to actually finagle during this process, or that original packet that you send in, you have to take that all the way to the closing table?
You're right. It's pretty firm. Certainly, absolutely, the buyer is fixed. Now, for the lending side, they probably don't pay attention to it, to be honest with you, because I'll give a proof of funds to somebody and they'll close with somebody else. Right? Kind of that happens a lot. But so I think the lender is flexible because I don't think they're really paying attention, because I think it's just a check mark. Here's a proof of funds, check mark, and they move on. Okay, because proof of funds isn't worth the paper it's written on. Okay, I mean they're not, and this is kind of why I say I'll give you one type thing. And so really it is the price that you have, and it is the LLC name. Okay, now if we get in a situation where we need to change buyers, then they just walk on you. Like I've done this a few times. I've done the appraisal with the bank. And so on FHA, so I'm going to give everybody a secret number here. Okay. So now I'm going to kind of watch out, because there's these drones that fly around in the sky. And when I say this, they're going to zap me. And so I got to be careful. Good thing it's night. But anyway, for an FHA loan, okay, the bank will take 88%. Whew, I saw the drone fly by. He's going to hit me with it. The government, 88% of the appraisal, write that down. Okay. Now, Justin, what's happened a few times on me is that when the bank's appraiser met me at the house and I give them all this documents and stuff that I do there, they came back with the appraisal at my purchase offer. Okay. Which is cool, except now that means I'm 12% too high. Right? It's like, oh, dang, I did a good job, but now I'm too high. So Justin, in that case, my buyer just walks on me and I got to find another entity. Okay, another LLC or a buddy or something like that, right? And so your buyer has to, cancel the contract, and then you bring in someone else at a lower price, type thing.
I got one last question. So my last question to this is, when it comes to this process and everything, how would I say it? With you getting an agent and stuff, don't they supposed to list it on a MLS and give every other investor the opportunity to buy the property that you were negotiating?
Oh my gosh, no. 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 So there's like, that's I got this little sheet of paper. It's called 10 myths that are dead wrong. And that's one of them. Okay. In a short sale, okay, there are no other buyers. Okay. And now why is that? Now you want to know why is that? Okay. Here's why. Okay. Ultimately, the bank just wants what the appraisal value is. Ultimately, that's all they care about. They don't care who it is. So when they send out their appraiser, their person to the house, and they come up with a number, all they want to do is see anybody at that price. Okay. And so that's what they're ultimately looking at. And so, so you come up to so you're coming in low and they're going to come in high, and you dispute, and they come somewhere where you're like really good. I'm going to make, say, $100,000. That's good enough for me. And so you're going to come up to that price. That's all they care about, is they now have somebody at that price. Okay. Now, to even back that up on how that is actually really done in real life, FHA has a process called variance. VARIANCE, variance. And it's all caps. It's actually a term inside of FHA where they do their own variance, where they say we don't need 15 days active because we have a bona fide buyer and at the appraisal price that we want. And so they waive the whole 15-day thing. See, people don't understand that. Okay, they don't understand that about short sales.
And another trick to that, can you just put it up and say pending day one, or when you put it on the MLS, or is that the way to get around it?
Yeah, you're right. So we can get into some strategic step-by-step stuff here. So yes. So what happens is you go on the MLS. Okay, you print out a certain piece of paper you need for the bank, and then you immediately go. Now, Chris, in St. Louis, it's called active under contract because that lets the days on market keep going up. So not pending. In St. Louis, don't do pending because that stops the days on market, but active under contract, okay? And so, yeah, a minute later, Justin, you go under contract on the MLS, and so nobody else can come see the house because it's under contract.
Wow, makes perfect
So
sense.
what are the people who going to jail doing wrong?
You know, here's what they're doing wrong. They are going out there and they are finding somebody that will pay them $100,000 for the house. So they go out there and find somebody like another wholesaler or a rehabber. And this rehabber says, yeah, man, dude, I'll pay you $100,000 for it. So now that person goes to the bank and they start negotiating for something less than $100,000, maybe 90, maybe 80, maybe 70. That's against the law and that's crap. And you should never do that. Okay. You should never do that. Okay. With it. You are the buyer. You're the one in your own silo making that offer with the seller. The seller wants to sell it to you because you're helping them out. Okay. People going to jail are the ones that are lining up something ahead of time. Okay. And then trying to negotiate for something lower with the bank. And then they're keeping the spread between it. That is not what I'm doing. I have no idea what I'm going to sell it for after I buy it. No idea what I'm going to sell it for. The world could tank. I don't know. It could fall off the end of the earth. Okay, I don't know what I'm going to make on it till I sell it after I buy it. That's why people are going to jail when they're doing some of that stuff.
Another thing I saw that they were basically signing or forging documents or something too. I mean, it was a lot of stuff with that, you know, the thing, people going to jail, doing illegal practices. Did you see something like that too, David?
Oh, yeah. In Texas, I know exactly what you're talking about. And I read the press bulletin and I know the person personally. Okay. And stuff. And so I got to be careful about what I say. But basically, if you read what was publicly released, it's so one of the things said that this person was taking the proof of funds and forging the document to be a higher number, Okay. So you're thinking, oh, wait a minute. Why are they doing it? Why are you first of all, you don't forge stuff. Just send me another email. I'll give you whatever proof of funds price you want. You don't have to forge my thing and my signature. I'll give it to you. So that person, could I say is an idiot? I don't know. To do an act like that, according to the press release, to forge a proof of funds to make it a higher number is ludicrous to even do. Okay, she's inexperienced and not knowing anything. Now, a lot of people, don't even really understand why that person was doing that. Okay. And if you read what the lawsuit was, this person was forging it, getting the bank to stop the foreclosure date. Okay. So taking contracts and making them a higher contract. So if you offered 40,000, this person was making it like 60,000 and the proof of funds to match it, turning to the bank at 60,000. Bank says, oh, cool, that's going to pay off the loan. So they would stop the foreclosure date. Okay. Stop it. And then she would start to do negotiation to do it. And so the person would be, be negotiating. Okay. And was so, I guess, lousy at it, they could never get it back down to the 40,000 that the person was willing to pay. And so now the bank lost all this time, 3 months, 6 months, and then had to take it to foreclosure anyway. That's what the lawsuit was about, was that lost time on there and stuff. And so that's ludicrous. You never look here. Watch this, Chris. I just stopped a VA foreclosure. I'm serious. It's a phone call. Wow. This person's doing a stupid tactic to stop a foreclosure date. There are many, many ways to stop a foreclosure date. You don't have to fake out the bank with a falsely high offer, on it and stuff. And so that is completely illegal, completely wrong. Is just a complete lack of experience in short sales, in my opinion.
Wow. So don't do anything illegal.
Well, yeah, don't forge stuff. I mean, that's crazy. Don't take water heaters and open the drain valve and say there's a basement leak. We don't do that kind of stuff. Okay. We don't do that kind of junk. We don't need to do that kind of junk.
They want to know, can you use trust instead of assigning an LLC?
Oh, I like this person. Absolutely. I wasn't going to say it, but you mentioned it. Okay. Wasn't going to say it. Okay. Because they're getting advanced stuff. So yeah, Chris, I buy my properties in land trust. Okay. And so in a land trust, I can sell a beneficial ownership on day one. I don't have to wait 90 days. So absolutely, I developed a series of documents that you give to the bank that forces them to accept the buyer as a land trust. Okay. And so then, everything's perfectly legal because the title's not changing in that 90 days. The land trust is still the name on there. We just sell the beneficial interest of the trust to the rehabber or whoever, kind of thing. So it's technically, you're not, in the way it's worded for the deed restriction, you're not violating the deed restriction.
Plus, people don't even know who is the beneficiary of that trust.
Exactly.
Everywhere.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, exactly.
Art, you had a question?
No.
All right, cool. Well, I'm glad it's we're getting deep in the weeds and talking about short sales.
You guys are asking great questions, man. I love that. You're really getting down in there. The problem is there's like a bunch of other steps, and we'd be here all night if we go linearly through all of them, right? But
so the main thing though is getting the seller or the borrower of that property to agree to work with us, and we have pretty much open reign from that point.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
Because we're already kind of doing that now, but we're more so taking them over. Most of us are. We're taking them over subject to usually for what they owe on it, maybe a little bit more, giving them a little bit of money to move, stuff like that. But it seems like it would be a better situation for some of those that need more work, because we do come across some that need work that, who wants to put a bunch of money into a house and not have enough equity to make it make sense.
Yeah, I mean, if there's no equity in it, you shouldn't be, taking it subject to on those ever, okay? Because you're losing. You never replace them in the quicksand, and stuff. And so, you want to do a short sale on those when they owe too much money.
Yeah. So these are, and so you said it could be not just repairs, a reason that the bank would take less than what's owed on it. It could be some other factors that we may not be able to see right now.
Exactly.
So basically you're saying assume nothing. Am I getting that right? Just
right. Oh yeah. I mean, look, I tell people, look, just get the authorization form, talk to the bank, find out what's really going on, and then decide whether you're going to do a short sale. Okay. Because until you really know and talk to the bank, you don't really know. And so, I mean, this is a thing with sellers, with homeowners. They either lie or they don't know the answer to your question. Okay. So the homeowner or the sellers either lie to you about the house or they don't know the answer to the questions about it. So get the authorization form that allows you to talk to the bank, find out the kind of loan it really is, how much they really owe, and different factors like that. And then decide if you want to do a short sale or not, with it. That's what I tell people now, because we can make money on pretty houses and ugly houses.
Shelly, is your audio working yet or not yet? Still messed up? Because she's asking a bunch of questions over here in the side chat. I'm like,
somebody better read them then. Where's that?
A whole paragraph over here. So let's go start at the top. Can you get a list or connect with a local broker to get you these short sales? And do you have to rehab all of them, or can you just resell them? I guess you already answered the second part. So I guess the first part is the question. Can you get a list or connect with a local broker to get you these short sales?
Absolutely not, Shelly. You do not want to do that. It's free. Okay, it's free. You don't even have to buy them from a list provider at all, because a foreclosure is a banking process that brings people to the courthouse steps to bid on that mortgage to pay as much as possible. It's a public notice, okay? Not a legal notice. It's a public notice, and those have to be free by definition. And so I teach you where to get those all for free, okay? Those names and addresses of people. You don't need a broker at all. You can get them for free.
Now, do you recommend cold calling these people, door knocking these people? Just the overview. What do you think is most effective in getting these?
I'm kind of lazy. I kind of like direct mail. It's as old as death and taxes. Just mail them a letter. I mean, look, we've been doing it forever. You can pay somebody to do it. If you got kids living at home, make them do it. If you got a sister or brother, pay them to, and just mail letters to them. Okay, and the only thing I really suggest is put your phone number on it so they can call you. And then like for me, what I do here in St. Louis was I mail out the letters, and then about the 21st of the month or whatever, 3/4 of the way, if nobody called me to do a short sale, because look, I just want one. I just want one this month. Okay, there's 200 a month in St. Louis. I just want one, man. Next month is another. And so if no one called me like 3 weeks in, then I'd panic. then I get worried. I go and then I start making some cold calls out, and stuff like that, and call them, if I didn't have somebody. But yeah, direct mail is can you door knock? Absolutely. I got these coaching students in different parts of the United States, and I'll go there with them and help them out on their deal. And when I go to that city, since I'm there, we're going to do some door knocking together. And so here's how I structure it with the student. I said, hey, look, you pick 6 houses. That's a 2-hour time frame. We can do 6 houses in 2 hours. You pick them out in the neighborhoods you want to be in, maybe your own subdivision, something really cool, really good houses you want, okay, that have a lot of potential value. You pick those out, and we'll go and we'll door knock on each one of them. And there's certain things you got to do there. But in the last 8 times that I went, we got between 1 and 3 short sales out of knocking on 6 doors. Okay, so it is powerful. It's powerful, but I still like the direct mail, because you can pay someone to do it. Door knocking, it takes time, and stuff. But it is powerful. Yes, door knocking will work.
So one of the things we've been coming across here while we're wheeling and dealing, doing this thing called real estate investing, looking for leads, looking for pre-foreclosures, we find a lot of people that are deceased. Can we do a short sale on a deceased person's house?
Yes, it's interesting. Today about 30% of our short sales are with what I call dead people, deceased people. 30%, whereas back in pre-2020, it was probably 5%. But I think the COVID thing, took a lot of people out. I think COVID took a lot of people out, and now those sons and daughters are not able to keep up with the payment, and so they maybe made payments for a year or two, but then life happens, and then now they're not making payment on dad's house anymore, and so but they've been dead for a while, and so 30% of our short sales are with deceased people, and you absolutely can do a short sale with them. You absolutely can, no doubt about it.
So are we going to still go through a whole probate process if needed and still do a short sale? Or what is the kind of little bit of the inner workings of that?
I don't like probate at all. Okay. No, I don't. I don't want some fancy judicial dude involved in this thing, man. I don't want the government in this. And so probably out of those, 30%, probably 10% are probate, and the other 20% are what I call dead people. They have no value, no estate, no nothing. Okay. In other words, there's no reason to go to probate. Okay. And stuff. And so there's a trick on how you can actually then do the short sale when it doesn't go through probate. Probate's really easy because, there's an executor of the will, and that's the one who can sign the purchase sale contract. Okay. So those are easy. Okay. And stuff like that. But most people don't have anything, and so they never go through probate. But you can still do that through a different process. So you can do the short sale in all cases.
So we will still be doing a short sale with a personal representative of that estate, and they can still sign off on everything. Because I know sometimes, when these people are deceased, the banks act kind of squirrely about, oh, we can't talk to nobody. We can't talk to you. And then you find out later that, yeah, you can talk to me.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no. So when it's not in probate, there's no executor. What you basically do is you do a thing called, now it's in most other states, but in Missouri, it's called an affidavit of heirs, HEIRS, an affidavit of heirs. And what that means is you find a local title company, and I've got, several that I work with here in St. Louis, local title company that will talk to that person who thinks it's their house, the son or the daughter, whoever thinks that is the owner, and that title company will get with them, and they'll fill out these documents and these pages, and they'll all get notarized, and then the title company files it in the county records and changes the name on the house to the heir. Exactly. It's beautiful. Now the bank has to talk to the heir, okay, because they're now the owner on record in the county courthouse. Okay.
Wow. So we have to do that first because, like I say, they get real tricky.
Technically, yeah, but here's a trick that I do, okay? Here's a trick, okay? So now, yeah, eventually you do. You do want to do that, but we don't want to wait for all that process because we may have a foreclosure date. So what we do, you take my authorization form, and you print the name of the deceased person under the printed name, okay? And then for signature, the heir is the one authorized. So they're going to sign their name, Daffy Duck or whatever, Okay, whatever their name is, they're going to sign it. The bank can't read that, so they think it's the printed name of the dead person. And so you call in being authorized, and then you explain, oh, no, they're dead. Okay, well, they're dead. And we go, what do you mean they're dead? Well, yeah, here's a death certificate. Well, we got to get an affidavit. Well, sure, I'll get you the affidavit. There's no problem, but you're talking to the bank now. Okay, and talking about the loan and the stuff like that and stuff, and so that's a little fun trick that we can do that doesn't slow us down that way.
Yeah, because they definitely get tricky with it. Like, oh yeah, we got it in our records. They're deceased, and I'm like, we gotta do something to stop the auction. So yeah, I mean it's a lot of ways and a lot of inner workings with this stuff. So David, if somebody's watching this either now or on a replay and they're like, hey, I like his style, I like his spirit, I want to go connect with him, I want to go learn his step-by-step process, the 10 to 12 things to stay away from and all of that, what do they need to do for that, David?
Well, I got a website, and it's thedavidrandolph.com because davidrandolph.com was taken by somebody. Man, was I upset. So somebody said, aren't you the David Randolph? Yeah, hey, GoDaddy, give me thedavidrandolph.com. So then go there, Chris, and get lots of stuff. Also, every single month I do for your people a free 2-hour workshop. You text intro, INTRO, okay, to my phone number at 636-685-2990. Text intro to that phone number, and every month I do a 2-hour Zoom session wherever you're at in the country on short sales, and we go into 2 hours of step-by-step, what they are and how they work on it and stuff.
Let's see if I can do this here. Am I good? Text intro. Boom. Is that it?
Where is it at? I don't see it. Oh, yeah, right there. I see it over there. Yeah, perfect.
Oh, magic. And it's even me. How am I in the chat somehow? So there you go. Text intro to 636-685-2990.
Yeah. And I'll throw that in the chat box too. I don't know. I see a chat box now. I didn't see it before. Did we get everybody's questions though?
Yeah. Were there any other questions before we land this plane? Art, I know you got a question. You always got questions, Art.
Not about the short sale.
So you just gonna stay away from them? Is that what you're telling me?
I'm just laser focused right now.
What city are you in, Art?
I'm in Northwest Indiana. I'm in a city called Highland, Indiana.
Highland, okay,
not far from Gary in Chicago.
Oh yeah, Gary. Yeah, I know some people out there. So, Art, look, do this, man. If you run across one, call me up because I'll pay you $2,000 for your dead short sale lead. Pay you $2,000, closing, of course, for that lead. So don't let the family go to foreclosure. So in all your focusing and stuff, if you run across somebody, we got to help them. That's why. I started doing this with my wife actually, 15, 16 years ago. We need to help families out. So if you run across someone, give me a call. That's my phone number. That's my personal phone number right there in the chat.
Don't let anybody go to auction for any reason. Is that what you're saying, David?
Exactly. That's the worst thing that can happen. It's terrible. You don't want that to happen because then the bank has the house and it becomes all screwy when the bank has it.
And it's sad, even when I see some of these beautiful homes going up foreclosure, I'll be like, wow, that's a nice house going to the bank, and they don't want it.
Exactly. A
family can live in it. So hopefully everybody got something good out of this. They got some good nuggets, some good little hacks inside. Anything else you want to leave us with, David?
Well, just that, seriously, the banks are literally dumping the houses because they've got over 2 million delinquent loans back from COVID that are sitting on their books, and they got to get rid of them. Okay. And I mean, why would you take $96,000 for when they do their own appraisal at 198? Why would a bank do that? Okay. They're desperate. And so that's why I would like to leave with people is whatever you've heard in the past about short sales. And there's not a large quantity there. This is not a tidal wave. I've never said there would be a tidal wave, and I know why there's not a tidal wave. And I explain that in the 2-hour intro I do every month. But basically, they are desperate on the ones that you are doing, okay, and stuff. And so that's what I'd like to leave people with is, hey, man, we can make a lot of money on just one deal,
So it doesn't take a lot of deals because, a lot of people trying to get a bunch of leads and do a lot of this stuff and make a lot of noise. And all it takes is one, huh?
Yeah. Can you mail? I mail to 40 people, 40 people a month in St. Charles County, 40 people. Can you mail to 40 people? That's it. It's easy.
that ain't even $40. I guess not that much, a little bit more. So yeah, that's that's interesting too, because we come across a lot of people in pre-foreclosure, but we don't even offer them that. And that's what I wanted to ask you, David. Are you offering a short sale from the rip, or are you like, hey, this is what we can pay for it? Are we negotiating, or is it just, hey, we can do a short sale and we can let you stay in the house a little bit longer?
Well, I ask them what they want to do, okay? Because here's why. Sometimes people want to stay in the house, maybe, right? But they're not going to, because they're behind on payments, they don't have a job. And so what I'll do is I'll help them try to do a loan modification first. And then the bank will deny it. So it's the bank telling them no. And so now at that point, the bank said no, not me. And like, well, Dave, what do I do now? Well, we can do a short sale and I can get you another 4 months in the house. And so now I'm with them, working with them. They like me, and so yeah, I always like to ask, what do you want to do first? That way, because I can do either one. That's like I said, I don't care if it takes 6 months to do it.
Has there ever been an instance where you had somebody locked in, ready to go, we're in the middle of a short sale, and they decide they want to try to back out?
No, surprisingly not. I haven't. I think that a lot of times people just want to bury their head, put it away, let you handle it, and move on with their life. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they rarely find all the money to make the back payments up. They rarely find a great job that pays them millions of dollars, to keep the house. Their house is sometimes run down anyway. They just want to move on. And so they don't really want to stay there. Sometimes they've already moved out before you even start the short sale. So no, I haven't had that kind of trouble with anything.
Okay, cool beans. Any other questions before we let David escape? Don't ask me a bunch of stuff out there. I got an expert here.
Yeah, well, you guys got my phone number. I love to answer questions. Get into that. Every single month I do that 2-hour introduction workshop. Get in there. Just it's free. It doesn't cost you anything. Get in there and learn about it and see if you want to help families out.
There you go. That's what we like to do. Help families. Jimmy got a question. I know he never run out of questions. Jimmy, not yet. He said,
I don't have any questions, but I did take down David's contact. So in case I run across a short sale situation, I don't need to remember any of this. I just know who to call.
Exactly. Yeah. What city are you in, Jimmy?
I'm in St. Louis County.
Oh, wow. St. Louis County's got a lot. I mean, it's a big county too. I like St. Louis County because you got your rentals in one part of it and you got your rehabs in another part of it, right? Chesterfield, you're going to do a rehab, sell it for $600,000. In other parts of St. Louis County, you keep that as a long-term rental. So that's great, to be doing that in St. Louis County. I don't do St. Louis County.
I do. That's my favorite county.
Well, I don't, because I physically live in St. Charles County, and I'm not going to drive more than 20 minutes to do a rehab. Okay.
And they want to know, what does your letter look like? Is it a yellow letter?
Come to the 2-hour workshop and I'll tell you all about it. We could talk for 30 minutes on the letters. I will say it's multiple letters though. It is multiple letters.
Cool beans. All right, David, I appreciate you coming in, sharing your valuable knowledge, helping the people out. This is the game we play, real estate.
Yep. Okay. I appreciate it very much. I'll see you guys later.
See you later, David. Thank you.
Okay.
So that's what we have, ladies and gentlemen. Do some short sales. If you don't want to do the short sales, he told you what to do. Send it over to him and he'll help you make it do what it do. So let's see here. Take that off of there. He didn't want to tell that letter. What'd you think about all that, Art?
I think it was very very insightful. He was able to give some good information about what works, things that hasn't worked. Justin had really good questions for him. I think he was able to kind of paint the picture a lot more clearly.
Justin always got the most questions.
I say do your due diligence and make sure you fully understand what you're going into. And I'm a skeptic. I ain't going front. I would say lots of due diligence. I'm gonna do my due diligence.
Why are you skeptical? What are you skeptical about?
It's just certain things, with somebody. Oh, we're helping families. I don't really, we
are we not helping families?
We are helping people, helping families and stuff. But it's something about the it's certain things to me that if it comes off as too easy or whatever, like, okay, boom, we gonna sign this paperwork. We're gonna get 4 to 6 months for these people to be able to, before we actually take action, right? So if you can make, 70, 80, $100,000 per transaction, you know,
But that's on a flip, though. You know that, right? That's not on a wholesale or anything. That's a flip.
okay, so you acquire at a lower markdown. Then you have the situation where you have so much spread now, you can then have the option, depending on the terms of the closing, the ability to be at a wholesale that or do the whole fixer upper thing. So okay, like I'm gonna look into. I'm just gonna research it. Just let me research it.
That's what I'm just asking. What could be skeptical, and it's not easy. He makes it sound easy. It's easy because he's done it so many times. Just like if you've done a bunch of wholesale deals or a bunch of creative deals, it becomes easier to you because you've done it over and over and over again. You've perfected your system. You've perfected your paperwork. Things are just lined up where hey, FHA takes this much off, 88% or whatever it was, or VA takes this much. You have a system, and so it seems easier. And it's a lot of paperwork. If you really want to be deep in the papers, the paperwork make the paperwork. So that's why I just asked, how are we not helping families? Art?
One thing I was just thinking about that was interesting is apparently I've heard a lot of misinformation about short sales because I've heard a lot of bad things about short sales, but after hearing him speak tonight, it kind of resonated with me really good about it's just like I still hear to this day about people saying negative things about sub 2, and then I'll dig into it and ask what are their concerns, and then I find out it's usually coming from misinformation. So I feel like that's kind of what this falls into, because when he started saying how other people get in trouble from trying to assign a short sale compared to assign a beneficial interest of a trust, I was like, oh, okay, that definitely makes sense to me on how people can get in trouble with this stuff. So it makes sense.
Exactly. So that's the thing. A lot of this comes back to training and learning the knowledge, learning the game. A lot of times people don't take the time to learn it. Even with basic wholesaling, they're like, oh, wholesaling don't work. That ain't going to do nothing. I'm like, what? Creative deals subject to you can't take over somebody's house. What? You can't do this. No, you can't do it. They don't take the time to get good at these things and learn these skills. And that's why we take the time to learn it. Whether you learn it online, whether you take some master classes, some courses, whether you learn it in the Future Cash Flow Club, wherever you learn what you learn, it's it's specialized knowledge. That's the really short way I can put it. As simple as wholesaling is, that's specialized knowledge. People still don't even know you don't have to own the house to do a deal in real estate. They think you have to go get your credit check. You have to go through a real estate agent. You got to have a bunch of money in the bank. You got to have your debt to income ratio correct. You got to have filed taxes for the last 2 years. You got to have all these things they told you. The house got to appraise. All of that stuff, we just knock it all out the park when you understand how the game is played. So that's why we stay hooking it up and banging and swinging and bucking and swinging with heavy hitters. What do you think about all that, Jimmy? You going to try some short sales, or you say you're running away?
I wouldn't mind learning, but I wouldn't take it on myself. I'd probably just pass the ball, but tap in. So how did that work out? Tell me more. Okay.
That's it. And to be honest with you, from what I've understood, some banks will tell you exactly what they need. Now, the inner workings, what he was talking about when he was saying, he's going to dispute whatever they say, that's inside knowledge. You need to understand it. That's what we do out here on the streets of sellers. We're disputing that price. We want 300,000. It's only, we're only going to pay 220 or whatever number it is. We understand that that's the same thing, but we're just dealing with the bank as the seller versus the seller as the seller. And once the seller gives you permission to speak on behalf, you can go ahead and work this play. So hopefully everybody got something. Let me see what we got here. Somebody wrote in. They said, Jimmy got a thumbs up. Give your money to them to throw your money away. Yeah. So that's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. Don't feel like you cannot do this stuff. It's up to you to decide, hey, how deep do I want to go down the rabbit hole of learning real estate? Every deal may not be a short sale. And that's why I was asking that question about, is it just about repairs? He just told me some extra things that I never would have thought of. Like, oh, wow, what about this HOA stuff? What about this other thing that we never would have even known that could have got the price reduced? So, any other questions on any of these lessons? Questions, comments, concerns? Justin say he's still skeptical. He don't want to hear it.
Well, I just say, you know, I'm gonna do my due diligence because if he's doing it all himself, showing, you know, the proof of funds, he's the end buyer, you know, all of that stuff. I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, it sounds right if you do it that way. I think when people get multiple people, agents involved, all of that, you know, you slide into conspiracy. You're not giving, you know, the best interest of the bank is to put it on the marketplace and give everybody opportunity and stuff. So I see where he kind of finagling, you know, that whole thing. So I don't know.
Yeah, because where does it say that at? What, like Art was saying, that may be misinformation. Who said that you had to give everybody open opportunity? Some of FHA might say that, but he said there's a way to get around it. So, you know, if you got a viable buyer that's got cash, we can do it. And we're not talking about just wholesaling them. We're talking about actually buying these properties.
Right.
So, Justin Holmes, what have you learned today?
I learned that if you don't get a couple of people involved in your situation, you take something down yourself. It is not a conspiracy.
That's the loophole to the loophole. That's what we're doing with wholesaling. We're not
That's
representing somebody else in a transaction. We're representing ourselves.
That's how Diddy got set free. He ain't had no other partners.
What?
Why would you say?
What about our favorite attorney? Did you learn anything today in the background?
I did. I learned some stuff. Hey guys, I learned some stuff. I was listening. Hi everybody. I think I'm not as skeptical as Justin. I'm actually a little intrigued to learn a little bit more about the short sale process. So yeah, might do a little bit of research into it.
All right, appreciate you coming in. So that's the thing too, even about the agent part. He said he just hiring the agent, giving them a flat fee, $1,500, throw it on the MLS. And we already know the play to not even pay the $1,500. We paying $100 and put it on the MLS. Come on now. So, you know, it's always ways to skin these cats, you know, where we can do all of this here and make this work. What about Mr. Art? What have you learned today?
I learned that apparently all the stuff I've been hearing about short sales is likely just due to people not doing it the right way, which definitely makes sense to me. So, you know, I learned that if done correctly, you can be successful in short sales.
Boom. And last but not least, Jimmy, what have you learned today?
I learned you should surround yourself with people to know more than you, because I think even David kind of leverages people like realtors and stuff who know short sales to help guide them through it. So if I don't know anything about short sale, I know David now, or at least I got his number. I never knew anything about the whole process of putting together a sub-2 deal and dispoing it. So I'm just kind of leveraging those around me. So I'm learning that I don't know. I'm learning how much I don't know more and more every day.
You don't know what you don't know, and you don't know what you don't know, you don't know. So you got to start knowing more, and that's for sure.
Oh, people.
That's right. Your network is your network. You know, there are people out here that are doing some amazing things in real estate. Connect with them, you know, do these deals, learn from them. A fool could tell you something you didn't know. Because I got a whole, let's see, well, half a page of notes, not really half a page. Said what I got here. 88% on a FHA. They need 88% of the appraised value on the FHA. The FHA does a full appraisal. The conventional is the one that does the BPO. I meant to ask him about the VA before he left, but he left there. Yeah, and so it's just these little things that make all the difference. Then they got variance. Then you can double close. All of the little interworkings. So hopefully everybody got something good out of this. Don't forget, coming up here the next, when is this going to be? The 28th. The 28th, the last day of the month, February 28th, we got the local real estate meetup, getting belly to belly with your favorite online people, talking about real estate down at the Foundry. We got the local meetup here in St. Louis. Come in, chap in with that. Hopefully you all can make it. Any other questions before we go? They said I got to watch this live again. Look at him. It's not up for replay. I'm taking it down. I messed up. Evil. Hold on. Let me get my sound effect. Undertaker on. So hopefully y'all have a good rest of your night. I will see you next Sunday night, 7 o'clock Central Time, 8 o'clock Eastern, where we'll be talking about some more of this real estate talk. So with all that being said, do what you do, be who you be, and I'll see you before you see me.
So I want to get into real estate, but don't know where to start.
Well, what I would say is to join the Future Cash Flow Club. It's a community of investors where we talk about wholesaling, we talk about creative deal structuring, buying houses subject to, all of the creative stuff that everybody's talking about. You don't need a real estate license or any of that.
Wow, where do I sign up?
Well, I would say go to futurecashflowclub.com. That's futurecashflowclub.com. You can even get a free trial. Try it out today. I don't know what you've been doing. You been asleep? Let me wake you up with something. Straight up. Yeah. Allow me to reintroduce myself. I'm Chris Monroe. R to the O-E. I flip houses, rent cars, and make money. You know I'm not no motherfucker dummy. This how we do.